to the premiere episode of the Joy Made Millionaire podcast. Very, very excited. I'm just waiting a moment for the Instagram feed to come in. And so it has. I'm ready to click the go live button there. This is new. This is fun. This is exciting. I am very, very fired up to be here. There have been a ton of episodes of previous shows that I've done. I did the Sell More Book Show and have continued to do the Sell More Book Show for 11 years. Why did I do that show? Why do I continue to do that show year after year? Even though there are maybe other things I could be doing. Part of it is because I love it. I love doing it. I love connecting with people. I love going live. And there are other things that I've been instructed to do over the years. I've taken courses. I've tried various things. And they don't always work as well as the things I am the most excited about. So what does that mean? What does it mean that I've tried things that everyone says would work that didn't quite work for me? Well, it could mean a lot of different things. And we'll get into that a little bit in this episode. What I want you to do, because this is new for me, I want you to comment like Kelly just has. So thank you, Kelly. Kelly says, I am excited for this show. I can even post it up in here. So excited for this new show. I'm excited for it too. I'm excited for it as well. So comment so that I know you're here. I see people viewing this. We've got this streaming on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We've got this streaming in all of the places. And since it's streaming in all the places and seems to be working, my team, I'm going to end our Zoom meeting that we have on the side. That was the in case things break. I have ended it now to be less distracted. Though I am distracted. I have my tea here, which had honey on it. And so now there's honey on my fingers. It's just like, oh, that's my slight ADHDs coming in there. I see Christy in here. I see Kat. I see Amy T, Christine, Donna. Yes, this is it. So this is the Joy Made Millionaire show. At any point, you can make sure that you're getting the updates for the episodes at joymademillionaire.com. We have a free resource, 10 ways to add joy to your business. And you can get that at joymademillionaire.com. And that will also get you the episodes. You'll get notifications before we go live. So, hey, Kim. Hey, Dolly. I'm excited. I'm excited that we're doing this. So, why did we create this show? There are way too many times that I find in the entrepreneurial world, the author world, the coaching world, that we are told, my system is the only way. You must follow this system. If you don't follow this system, you're lost, because this is the only system that works. And all of those things, all of those ideas, all of these plans, even systems that I have taught to authors through my 7-figure-a-year business, Best Page Forward, all of those systems that can be taught, that could be taught, are missing one key component, and that is love. Love. That is happiness. That is joy. However you want to call it, whatever you want to refer to it as. Those systems don't in of themselves come with joy, because joy comes from within, and you have things that you love doing or that are similar to things that you've loved doing in the past. And a lot of these systems pull us away. They pull us away from what it is we could be doing, and perhaps even what it is we should be doing. And I don't think there are any shoulds. I don't think, I've heard the term should all over yourself. You do not want to really dabble in the shoulds. But as far as from a cosmic purpose standpoint, having things that we love doing more of our days is going to make a big impact. And here is the other point of this podcast. If you do more of the things that you love, you are more likely to make money, be profitable, be successful. If I had ignored, and hated Gail and hated Brenda, if I had ignored many of the ideas and concepts that people told me would not work, people told me would be too much work, people told me would never in a million years get you what this system or that system would be. If I had ignored those feelings inside that, no, I'm going to do this thing that other people find hard, but I don't find hard because I love doing it. If I had just listened to the so-called experts, I would have made less money. In 2024, Best Page Forward made over $1 million. In 2025, Best Page Forward made over $1.6 million. This never would have happened if I had ignored love, if I had ignored the happiness. And so we, over the course of this show where we're going to do this every single week, and I encourage you, the people watching at home, I'm seeing people on YouTube, on Facebook, let's see if there were any TikTok comments. I'm not so sure. I'm just seeing YouTube and Facebook, which is instructive. And just click over to Instagram. There are some people over on Instagram. I see Ingrid and Mr. Z and Renee and Becca. Love seeing you guys there. But over the course of this show, we are going to dive deeper into the idea that happiness almost always is going to contribute to profitability. So I want you to ask questions about this. I want you to put out there specific things in your business. I'm not going to answer all of them because some of them might not be applicable. So many of you who are seeing this first episode at the time that it's launching are authors, because we've helped tens of thousands of authors over the years. So of course, our initial wave of people are going to be authors, but as we continue to reach out and spend money on ads and connect with more people and more people find us, we're going to be connecting with coaches and consultants and entrepreneurs and even people with brick and mortar businesses. And so I suspect questions will continue to be different and interesting. Some of you who are watching this episode have already picked up and gathered and absorbed my 10 ways to add more joy to your business. So I definitely recommend, if you want to gather those, if you haven't picked them up, you haven't read it, go to joymademillionaire.com. But there are bonus ones. There are extras. There are 2 more that I am going to share with you today. And this is going to go into a resource that all of you get. So all of you who are on the email list get. So if you're not on the email list, make sure to join as I take my sip of tea. So bonus number 1, you could even call this number 11 in ways to add more joy to your business. First one, focus on your most enjoyable income stream. Focus on your most enjoyable income stream. What does that mean? There are some things you may be doing to make money that do not make you happy. There may be some things that you're doing that do not feel like they are worth the effort. There may be some things that you are putting so many, many hours into that pay the bills, but you even refer to them that way. You even refer to them as the things that pay the bills. You know that those don't fit as an enjoyable income stream. But on the other hand, or as we've said on my other podcast, the Sell More Book Show, the other hand of the coin. See, even in episode 1, we've got Easter eggs of the other podcast. Look at that. Look at that. That's just for you guys. But if you are thinking about the income streams that do make you happy, they do not even feel like work. The things that are the income streams that do not even feel like work deserve more of your attention. The things that make you feel like you are a living, breathing person deserve more of your attention. And it does not have to be a big income stream. Let's say you have books and you have a side hustle and you have another side hustle. Maybe one of those things brings in less money than the other two, but it brings you more joy. Last year, I realized that I enjoyed coaching, even though it was not the biggest thing bringing in income. I realized that coaching was making me so much happier, was bringing me energy. But it wasn't even close to the thing I was spending the most time on. I was coaching personally, I was coaching about 8 or 9 authors at the time. I was coaching about 8 or 9 authors. And I spoke with, this may have actually been closer to mid 2024. I spoke with a coach that I was working with, and she said, "Well, why can't you have more coaching students?" And I had every limiting belief pop up known to humanity. Oh, it's not possible. Oh, I can't possibly be a good I can't possibly be a good coach if I have that many. Every single limiting belief. You might have similar limiting beliefs. Oh, well, I only make $20 a month doing that thing. There's no way that could be a business. There's no way that could support me. There's no way that would work. Every little limiting belief could come up. But if you focus more of your attention on that most enjoyable income stream, you will see a massive boost in profitability. We went up from 8 or 9 coaching students to 19 coaching students to, at our peak, 30 personal coaching students. And we have other coaching programs where we're coaching other authors that don't work directly with me, but we decided to increase that number of coaching students by more than triple. And guess what? Income went up and I felt so good. Income went up and I felt so good because we put more time and attention and effort into the most enjoyable income stream. So go to the chat right now. Those of you who are live and those of you who are listening at home, think about this one later. But what is the most enjoyable way that money comes to you? The most enjoyable way that does not even feel like work? Let me know that in the comments. We can absolutely talk about it because maybe you've been hiding this from yourself. Maybe it has nothing to do with your number one job. Maybe it's completely different, completely off the wall. Go throw that into the chat. I'm very, very interested in hearing what you have to say. I'm going to go on to the next one, but I know there's a little bit of a delay in when I get the comments of the live stream. So I will take a look, but there's 37 people watching this live. So do feel free to put that in the comments. We're going to go into the next bonus. Bonus number 2, aka bonus way to add joy to your business, number 12. I do see that Christy posting in here says, I love playing with data, analyzing numbers, and swimming in spreadsheets. I can lose hours at that. And I already know from you personally that you are pursuing that joy more in your line of employment and what you're working towards. Remember that, because there are going to be so many distractions from the joy. And part of that is going to be your belief system, your consciousness telling you that is not possible. It is not possible for you to make more money doing that. So you can ignore those. One of my mentors, Amanda Francis, would refer to those as lies from the devil. And that is totally okay to think about those aspects as being lies. Let's see. We've got Kelly in here. Data and connecting with people. I didn't think they went together until a few years ago. And Kelly is one of our amazing account managers. One of the biggest parts of our business at Best Page Forward is running Amazon ads and Facebook ads for authors and coaches. And Kelly is one of our wonderful account managers. And she is getting to do that. And as I know, Kelly, you made more money as a result from that. So I love that. Andrea says her top joy maker is writing, and she does it every day. And I have it on good authority, Andrea, that your income went up significantly in the last few years from focusing on your joy. Brenda says planning and strategizing. And there are always more. This is actually the perfect segue into number 12, into the next way to add more joy to your business. So I see Kat's comments in here. I see more comments coming in here, but Brenda says planning and strategizing are what I love best. Well, let me tell you about the next way to add more joy to your business, which is finding a marketing practice that fits the success triangle. So what is the success triangle? I'm going to tell you. The success triangle is the best thing you can do, for your business. If you are going to market in a certain way, you want it to fit the success triangle. If you are going to have a new product or offering, you are going to want it to fit the success triangle. If you have a coaching offer, you want it to fit the success triangle. The success triangle must fulfill 3 aspects. Every thing that you do that is going to fit within this triangle needs to fit these 3 aspects. And for Brenda, that might involve planning and strategizing. Number 1, you must love doing it. We're back to the love. We're back to the happiness. You must love doing that thing. If it's a thing you learned in a webinar that you're hating, you're gritting your teeth doing it, and you're trying your hardest to do it, and it works, but it sucks, that does not fulfill that part of the success triangle. In fact, everyone who puts on a course, a program, a coaching, a consulting, and they tell you to do a thing that they said worked for them, that is fitting the success triangle. Especially that they love doing it. You picking up someone's new task, new way of doing things that you have not previously tried and you don't love it, does not fit the success triangle. Aspect number 2 of the success triangle, you need to be good at doing it. So not only do you need to love it, do you need to have that happiness with it? Do you need to have that joy with it? But you need to be good at it. You need to have a strength related to that. I learned the Clifton strengths from my good friend Becca Syme, who I've been so fortunate enough to work with. She's spoken at my events. If you are an author, she is a great coach to follow from Better Faster Academy. Becca taught me the value of strengths. When you are good at something, when it fits with one of your strengths, you have the ability to improve at that thing like 100x. I don't know the exact number, but we're going to say like 100x. You have the ability, if you're good at something, to become one of the best at it. You could become one of the best at that thing. For Brenda, it might be something related to planning and strategizing. For me, top 5 communication, top 5 positivity. Hey, do a podcast and a live stream about positivity, about money. It's a no-brainer, right? It is something I can get 100 times better at because it is one of my strengths. I can work on it and get better at it and use it to bring in income, but also feel purposeful in my life. So we've got these two aspects of the triangle. We have that you love doing it and that you are good at it, that you have a strength in that specific area. What is the third thing? And this is where some people get tripped up. What is the third thing? That it does work. That it does work. If you love doing something, if you love playing volleyball and you're good at playing volleyball, but you playing volleyball doesn't help you to sell more of your coaching product or your book, that's not going to work. That's not in the success triangle. I don't know why I thought of volleyball. I'm very short. But if you are doing something that can help you get more money, that does bring you that fulfillment, if it is something you're good at and it brings you joy and it actually works, it is infinitely scalable. Infinitely scalable. I used to think, because you know the people that you know the people in certain communities. I used to think that it was crazy that a person just teaching on any random subject and providing services for that random thing could make $10 million a year. Like, I thought that it only had to do with certain areas, like it was just about courses or just about whatever. And I met a wonderful person in my mastermind who actually, she goes by @YourTaxCoach. Her name is Barbara. She makes $10 million a year teaching on taxes and providing tax advice for people. $10 million a year. And she loves this stuff. You can see it. You can see it in her eyes whenever she talks about numbers. She loves this stuff. She's good at it. She's one of the best. And it actually works. She is able to promote her products, her services, her coaching. And it's so scalable. And you can tell that she's just at the beginning. You can tell that she's just at the beginning of her journey. 10 million a year already, and she's just at the beginning of her journey. How crazy is that? And I think it goes to show that this is infinitely scalable stuff. If you have something that you love doing, you're strong at it, and it actually works, there is no equal. Now, I'm glad you liked that, Amy. Amy liked my short person joke. So here's the thing. We don't believe it because we can't see it yet. And you're not necessarily going to be able to see it. I'm big into the manifesty woo-woo stuff. If you don't believe that you can achieve something, you're going to be right. It's the self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you believe that focusing on your most important, your most enjoyable income stream and finding a marketing practice that you love, that you're good at, and that actually works can work for you. If you believe in those two things, it's going to open up. It is going to open up. Being on webinars and doing podcasts and being out there and running ads to those things allowed my business to open up to 7 figures. But if you don't like webinars and you don't like ads and you don't like talking to people, my system isn't going to work for you. You need to find the system that fits with you and who you are. Let's see. Rob has a great comment here. Says, what you're saying is so true. A decade ago, when I sold my business, a friend asked, what do you want to do now? I didn't even have to think. I said I just wanted to write novels. I didn't think there was a way to make that happen. But if you follow the joy in your work and love what you're doing, you can find a way. And I know some of that was cut off on the video there, but I was able to read the whole thing. If you follow the joy in your work and love what you're doing, you can find a way. And the timeline, you don't necessarily get to choose that. You can say, hey, I want this to happen faster, and maybe the universe provides in that way. But y'all, if you want, I live in North Carolina. I'm a northerner who went to University of North Carolina and then moved back here 15 years later. So I get a couple of y'alls every so often, but that's how you know I'm in it to win it. But if you can put in the time, a little more time every single month into what it is you love doing, you are likely to make more money. And if you haven't seen my 10 ways to add more joy to your business, go to joymademillionaire.com and you can get those. And we will be posting the video from this episode for the other 2 ways. We've got more people sharing what they love doing. Monhardeep loves creating systems and automations. I know that about you. And creating systems and automations is probably your path to the next step. Let's see. Looking at others. Scarlett, who's a wonderful coach in our Groundbreakers program. Writing and coaching are my happy places. And I love that you get to spend more and more time doing that. Lady Gabe says, writing the first draft of my books. And I think this is a great point here. It's not just writing, as Lady Gabe says. It's not just writing. It's a specific part of the writing process. So let's say you found a way to reduce the number of things outside of that. If you had people helping you, or you had systems that made the editing processes and the publishing processes easier, and you got to spend 20 to 50% more time on writing the first drafts, you would likely make more money, because that is your joy place. That is your happy place. Kat says, I figured out that I love making my own illustrations for my children's book. It doesn't seem like work at all. It doesn't seem like work at all. It's so easy to create my books now. When you love something, it is going to work better for you. Let me tell you the other part about that. Because when you're strong at something, yes, you can get significantly better at it. You keep doing the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours rule, which is 10,000 hours at the edge of your comfort zone, not just 10,000 hours doing a thing. You need to be doing something a little bit harder, make it a little bit harder. Doing this, doing what I'm doing today, doing what I'm doing for this episode and what I'll do for future episodes is a little bit hard for me, doing it live and responding to the comments and doing all that stuff. This is new for me, but it is something that is going to be a little bit hard, and it's going to get easier over time. So it's at the edge of my comfort zone now. 10,000 hours at the edge of your comfort zone. If you keep getting better, if you keep working on that thing that you're strong at, you're bound to get better at it. If the thing that you're strong at, as I get pinged here, hopefully I didn't know to turn that off, but I'll figure that out in a sec here. I'll quit that, and we'll see if messages come in. I'll put on disturb mode, not next time. do not disturb mode next time. But if you make sure that you are working on something that you're not just strong at, but that you love doing, that is going to, on the days when it's hard, that is going to pull you through. That is why it can't just be what you're good at, because if you hate it, it's not going to get you there. It needs to be something that you are good at that you also love doing. That you also love doing. I love that Helena also loves teaching ballroom dance, writing and teaching ballroom dance. And it is tough that you have to put on the real clothes and drive across town to teach. Love everybody sharing their Clifton strengths in the chat. I think that is amazing. And I think that anyone who hasn't taken their Clifton strengths should definitely consider it. Guys, this has been an absolute delight to spend my time with you today. It is my intention that every week I am going to put out a new episode of this show. So I want you to mark it in your calendar every single week. The only times I'm not going to do it at this time is if I'm out of town, at which point I will email everybody to let them know what time and date I am going to do it. It may change occasionally for vacations and whatnot, but I have loved getting to do this. I love it. I love getting to spend this happy, joyous time with you. And I want you to take these ideas. I want you to think about this. I want you to take this concept of focusing on your most enjoyable income stream. I want you to find that marketing practice that fits in the success triangle. And I want you, for homework, to brainstorm on those, to journal on those, to meditate on those two thoughts. And I want you to come back. I want you to bring me your thoughts if you're going to be back here live every week. And heck, if I can make this a routine, y'all, the last podcast that I started, well, this is not actually true because I've done a couple podcasts since. The first podcast that I started, I continue to run it 11 years later, 11 plus years later. So it is my hope that we can get up to a similar number of episodes with this. If you are an author and you have interest in us running your Amazon ads, don't hesitate to email us at brian@sellingforauthors.com. We'll get back to you. And if you have yet to pick up the 10 ways to add more joy to your business, you can go grab that at joymademillionaire.com. So thank you, Barbara and Kat and Lady Gabe and Kim Ann. Thank you for tuning into this premiere episode. We will have this up on the interwebs where podcasts are seen in the next couple of days. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for allowing me to have this thing that I love doing. Thank you for allowing me to do this for you today. So appreciated. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, everybody. And thanks to the team, Kyle, Dolly, Becca, Amy, Rachel, Charlene, everyone who made this happen today. Take good care, everybody. And I will catch you next week for the second episode of Joy Made Millionaire. Bye, everybody.